who has been your inspiration in chess?
Obviously, my mother played the critical role. She taught me how to play, and she got me into the game. And I think till I was in my late teens, she was traveling with me everywhere. Probably both to give moral support, but also that I might not fall into bad ways, things like that. And she continued to be involved in my career for a very long time, if not always by traveling with me. Still, I would keep in touch with her and tell her what had happened and things like that. And she knew enough chess to at least be able to follow it. So after I got married, I think Aruna played a very big role. If you mean chess heroes, then I would say my idols growing up were Michael Tal and Bobby Fischer.
We came to know that you faced a lot of challenges when you were young while in chess. I mean, what is the biggest challenge that you have faced when you were young?
On balance, it didn't feel like I had such a hard time of it, for two reasons. One is I was quite fortunate. I got a lot of support. My parents were pretty relaxed about the time I was spending on chess, while the trend would have been for my parents to kind of gently steer me back to academics. In fact, my parents were quite relaxed about it, so I didn't have any problems on that side. Generally, I got help and things like that. So, and even what you might think of as struggles, it didn't feel like them, because when you're doing all the stuff, it's exciting as well. You're doing many of the things for the first time. It's exciting, and you don't even notice. It's the difference when people travel when they're in their teens and when they travel much later in life. When they're in their teens, things that should bother them don't, because the journey is so much fun. So I wouldn't talk about a lot of struggles. Let's say growing up in India rather than somewhere else meant that I would approach my chess learning in a different way or things like that. But none of these things really felt like a struggle. I believe that learning in that spontaneous way also made me more creative, and I simply don't see it that way.
How has chess changed since the time you were young, and do you like it now?
Well, when I was young, it was before both the IT revolution and the communications revolution, so to speak. I remember traveling when you would go to the airport, and then you'd go to the info desk, and then you would try to find out how you could get to somewhere in a city. You could make no plans in advance. And second, on the chessboard, this meant that you would struggle to find a book with the bulletins from last week, and you had no idea what happened in this game and that game. Preparation was difficult. Now, was that bad? Well, everyone had the same obstacles to overcome, so you were not at a disadvantage, but information traveled very slowly. There were no computers, so the difference between you and someone else was the analysis you did. Just so many things were so different. It was very hard for chess fans to follow anything. Nowadays, you get detailed reports, it's video reports, you get analysis, so many things instantly that it's hard to remember that once upon a time we didn't get it at all. And I think we can see this, that chess has grown all over the world now. Players come from unexpected countries. It's interesting that recently India has had a world champion and a world number one. Norway has had a world champion and world number one. Both of these things you could not have imagined, let's say, in 1990 even. And this shows that thanks to the internet, chess is able to grow in many countries which didn't have a big tradition. So it's spreading well, it's easy to show. Especially on the internet, it resembles a spectator sport like any other, in my opinion. And in India, I would say the sheer number of people who play, the number of youngsters who play, it's just so nice to see these world age group championships and see the kind of domination we have. So there are amazing things happening like that. these things are difficult as well. I mean, computers make life easy, but they make life easy for everyone, so you have to start competing in a different way. I would say that change is just something you have to accept. I cannot say that I liked every change on day one. That's inaccurate, but I believe that you have to learn to like at least inevitable change, and if you accept it, then you can adapt and do better at it. So I've had to adapt to many changes, but mostly I think chess still keeps me fascinated, so I probably manage that.
How does it feel when people give you the credit for all that is this chess boom that is taking place in India?
I believe that was a very important catalyst. If you look at any sport in India, or anywhere in the world, in fact, why do many people take to it? It's because somebody took to it first, did well, and then inspired his countrymen to follow. Obviously I was a very important catalyst. It will be too much to say that I'm entirely responsible. Obviously there's a community, and the chess lovers, the chess fans, the chess sponsors, lots of people who get involved, and lots of parents as well who remember Arvind and one more boy, I think. Anyway, both of them had their mothers with them. And it reminded me of when my mother used to accompany me to a chess tournament. So you see that, and you're seeing all these parents, who tirelessly go to tournaments with their kids or something. It's nice to see. But well, definitely I'm very proud that I've catalyzed this, and it's just so nice to see. I mean, something like what happened in the airport today would never have happened, let's say 25 years back or 30 years back. So that's very heartening.
Definitely think you are the reason. And why should young children pursue chess, if you had to give few reasons for that?
Mostly I would say simply because that it's fun. Chess is a fun game. It's challenging. People who take it up often get hooked, and it's for a reason. Besides that, we know that chess is a very healthy activity. It trains your memory, it trains you to concentrate on a problem, it trains you to block distractions, it teaches you about the importance of decision making, of making a good decision based on information, things like that. And these are very useful qualities in an age where we're constantly struggling against being distracted. So it's been shown that chess improves your performance in school as well, so a lot of these skills carry over. But that's not the speech I would give to a 5-year-old or 6-year-old. I would simply say it's fun and you should enjoy playing it.
You have to answer all your favorites. Favorite vacation spot?
I like safaris.
Your favorite book?
I don't have one.
Your favorite game? Chess game, of course.
The one that I played?
Yes.
Levon in Vaikensee, 2013.
Favorite gadget?
Computer.
Favorite restaurant?
South Indian.
Your favorite pastime with Akhil?
Tickling him.
Favorite hangout place with Aruna and Akhil?
Home at the sofa.
रजनीकांत और कमल हासन.
I like them both.
आमिर खान और अमिताभ बच्चन.
Well, I watched Amitabh even before Amir Khan. But again, I probably watched more Amir Khan movies.
मसाला डोसा और पिज्जा.
Masala dosa.
बिशप और नाइट.
Most people say knight. Most people would say that I would say knight. So,
Kasparov और कापो.
I grew up with Karpov.
प्रज्ञानंदा और निहाल.
We'll see.
Books or engines.
Again, I grew up with books, but nowadays more engines.
Formals or casuals?
Casuals.
Morning person or night person?
Again, I used to be more of a night person, but nowadays, when you have a young son, you just become a morning person.
Chennai or Madrid?
Well, apples, oranges. I like, obviously, Chennai is my home, but I liked Madrid as well.
Astronomy or TV serial?
Astronomy.
The
World Championship 2000 or World Rapid 2017?
World Rapid 2017.
I can't choose between them, but this one is much fresher.
Now, here's a tough
now
question. ChessBase or ChessBase India?
I guess I go more often to ChessBase India.
Okay.
And last one, Monty Python or Narcos?
Right now, Narcos.